Today's guest is a classically trained pianist turned genre blender, mixing blues, pop, and R&B with a voice fans call Lana Meets Ella. From viral clips to captivating stages, please welcome Athena to the show. This program is part of the Scene Projects podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Starts, and with me today is Athena. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I knew you were a bundle of joy when I met you on the red carpet at the Josie Music Awards, and I'm so glad that we've gotten to connect here soon after to have a little bit longer chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm a little under the weather from the Josies, of course, because a baddie has to get sick sometimes, but I'm really, really happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure to speak with you. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, off the top, I'd love to give you just a little bit of time and give you the floor here and let you give us a little bit of your backstory, and then we'll get into all the exciting stuff that you're doing now.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, I have been I am a classically trained pianist, which I don't do on stage. I utilize that knowledge to create more than to perform because I want the focus to be on the vocals, of course. But I'm Greek American, and I grew up in a family with my grandmother being a pianist and her mother being a pianist, and just music has been such a huge part of my life always. My dad says that I would hum Led Zeppelin before I could even talk, because I grew up on Zeppelin, of course, and Sabbath. I'm actually a really big metalhead. But we also, my dad had blues playing all the time in the house, and I fell in love with the blues. And so my whole life has just been centered around music. I knew exactly who I was and what I wanted to do from a really young age. Cannot relate when people tell me they don't know what to do with their lives, which I deeply empathize with. However, I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky. I actually have a music industry degree, and I do work in the music industry to support what I'm doing. And I'm releasing a song every 6 to 8 weeks right now. I've recently released 3 singles, Wait With Me. I released my song Villain, and most recently my song Regal. And I'm currently in the studio working on 4 more songs that I'm very excited to release, and maybe even a Christmas song this November or December it'll come out, but it'll be not an original. I love classic Christmas songs, so I really want to do a cover. Not Santa Baby though. I'm tired of singing Santa Baby. I love it, but it's time to move on from Santa Baby. But yeah, that's just my little spiel about me and what I do. And
I love it. And I am a Christmas music junkie. I love this time of year. As soon as Halloween was over and they were turning over Opryland to the Christmas at Opryland, I was totally in love with it. I fully support Christmas starting on November 1st. I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. It is the season. And I'm with you on Santa Baby. It's okay. There's plenty of other good songs.
Yeah, it's just time. I've done it because that's when people think of me and what Christmas song to cover. It's like Santa Baby because it's so sexy and whatever. I'm like, yeah, I love it. I've covered it for like 2 years, but it's time for something else. I don't know.
Yeah, we just get a good old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in there sometimes.
I mean, if you really want to, I could do that if you want. Oh my gosh, someone had said grandma got ran over by a reindeer. And I'm like, well, I don't know. That's going to be the one that I do, but it's a good one. I did listen to that a lot growing up. So yeah.
I'm doing a holiday show next month, and that's like two of my go-tos. That or Jingle Bells. I'm not real averse. I can sing a lot of them, but as far as like playing them with the band, I've never done that. It's not a part of what I do necessarily, but there's a lot of other great. I mean, yeah, just the Bing Crosby stuff alone, right? Keep you busy.
I love like classic. I mean, anything Ella Fitzgerald or Louis Armstrong. My favorite, and I say this to everybody. I listen to this song like 30 times a year. It's Baby It's Cold Outside, but it is Louis Armstrong and Velma Middleton, and it's a live performance. It's on YouTube, and it's them performing together, and they're obviously drunk. Like, obviously, the recording starts off with Louis going, "No potatoes," and I'm like, "What's happening? Like, who? Like, for why? Why are we talking about potatoes?" And they're just like flirting with each other and having such a fun time, and it feels like, I mean, Louis Armstrong, like the king of like jazz, obviously. So it's just so jazzy and fun, and it doesn't feel commercial, which a lot of Christmas songs can, and that's fine. But I just, you know me, the blues and the jazz, and I just highly recommend checking out that video. It's so beautiful and fun, and I just love it.
I'm looking it up currently. I was going to try to fib there and say that I was going to wait till later, but I'm already on it.
Good, you as you should. You have homework.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you work in the music industry. What do you do for work then?
I work for an all-female PR company here in Nashville, and I also own a graphic design business that I utilize for artists mostly, because I know what artists need to have like on their website and stuff. So I create websites, but for PR, I'm mostly a salesperson. Honestly, everything I do is to support my music and to put me in those spaces. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I'm starting to make money with music now. So that's kind of obviously the direction that I'm going to be going in, and hopefully not have a real job, have a music job instead with the songs. So that's definitely the goal.
Yeah, and you say that you're making money in music now. Is that off of some kind of licensing or live performance, or where are you finding success at financially in music now?
Yeah, oh my God. I mean, it's taken time, you know, and it's also harder because of AI now. That's a whole nother conversation. But I do make money from performing. I sing every weekend at a burlesque show here in Nashville. And I also just recently signed a deal with H&M to play my music in all their stores. And this isn't solidified yet, so I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but we're talking to Starbucks too. So I'm very excited about those opportunities. I was recently signed by two sync agencies, So Stereo and Grade One View Music. Actually, that's an independent one here in Nashville. So they're constantly pitching my stuff. So that's definitely a goal. But again, AI. Oh my gosh, it's taken over the commercial space for music. So
I just saw that the #1 song on Billboard charts this week is a completely AI generated artist, AI generated things. And it's like, this is the future. This is what it is. So all these people that were chasing this dream of charting on Billboard and doing all this, and that's all just a closed loop system anyway. And I don't think a lot of people understand that system. Obviously, you have a lot of inside baseball knowledge working in Nashville, working in PR. You know how a lot of these things work. But I think most artists that are just starting off with a dream don't understand the machine that is the popular music industry, right? Like, I feel like there's popular music, and then there's like the rest of us over in this much larger pool that are swimming around. And I'm very fortunate. I've been getting paid very, very well to go out and perform for most of my career. I mean, since 2009, I've been making over $100 a performance, probably when I wasn't, qualified to make that kind of money. Right. And performing, but it hasn't also changed a whole lot over the last 15 years either. Now, my band, I'll get upwards of $1,000 to go out and perform with my band now, but you have so many expenses that haven't changed, right? Or that are changing rather, with the cost of fuel always being what it is. And, obviously musicians want to get paid more now. So I try to pay my people, well, to show up and to perform on their own rights. Yeah. But it's, at a lot of times we're performing at a loss, and especially living in rural South Dakota, I have to drive to get anywhere to perform. And, one of our biggest towns is over an hour and a half away. So I already have, a $50 bill in the gas tank, and that's not pulling the trailer right there and back.
100%. So it's so expensive. And that's why independent artists have such a hard time with just continuing to do what they're doing. And I really have found that the DIY space is where we will thrive. I edit all my videos. My good friend does my videography, so he charges me like next to nothing. I'm very grateful for him. I take photography from the videos that we do, so I don't really do photo shoots unless it's with friends. And then my band, I mean, I pay my band. I'm going to pay my band. I'm going to pay my boys. That's the thing, is I respect and need them. You know what I
Right.
mean? Not paying your band is crazy. A livable, like, not, I can't pay them a livable wage, but I'll pay them for our shows. And they're also part of like the family that I'm building within my music. Like all these people that I work with, I continue to work with so that I can build those relationships. And it is hard. I mean, the music industry is no joke. It's a really difficult space to be in. And I empathize with all the artists that get overwhelmed and discouraged, because it's the hardest industry to be in. It really is. It's what you're willing to put into it, what you're willing to not necessarily give up, because I don't think you should give things up, but it's what, like, for this. But at the end of the day, you kind of do. Wow, I'm going back on that. You really do have to. I have sold my soul. I'll do anything. I just want to create music and connect with, women, specifically like plus size women in this community, in this space, that need somebody to, share their story. Being a bigger woman in the entertainment world is definitely interesting. I can say that. I've been told plenty of times by plenty of people that I will not be successful unless I look the part. And it's like, that's not where I think music is going anyway. I think individuality and authenticity has really been the cornerstone for 2025 and hopefully for the future. Obviously, there's still a lot of issues and there will be issues in the media, but yeah, it's definitely, I don't even know where I was going with that, but it's hard. It's hard to be an independent musician. And I'm just grateful for where I am now. And I've been working very hard for the past like 5 years on this project. So I'm very excited about the future.
Yeah, and I think you touched on a couple of things there. The authenticity, I think, with the breakthrough of guys like Jelly Roll and a gal like Lainey Wilson, who obviously have been the top of the charts for the last several years. And we're getting a house tour. I love this.
I know my laptop was 100% when we started, and now it's at 2. So welcome to my home.
Yeah, it's like a little episode of MTV Cribs right here.
Literally. Well, now we're in the kitchen and living room. So,
but another AI. Yeah. I think it's made it actually more valuable to be different, to be to tell our stories, and realizing, and I think for myself, I forget this too, is that like, it's not just our story that we're telling. I have such a personal relationship with my songs because they're all pretty much things that have happened to me. So I am very protective of them. But also, when you start releasing music that you find that you're also telling someone else's story as well. And I think that's something that maybe in my own career even, and I'll be 40 next May, but that I've kind of overlooked that part of it. I've been so kind of self-absorbed about it and going, no, this is me and my story, to realize now that it's not just my story. My story is very similar to a lot of other people, and maybe not one for one, but parts of it. I'm one of those people who've lived, 1,000 lives in one, from, the prison time, the year in Mexico, the year and a half as a, drug dealer, and these things, like I've lived all these different periods of my life. Right. And that's really just like a 4-year period, homelessness and I wasn't really homeless. I was just a vagabond, but living that kind of hitchhiker lifestyle up and down the West Coast when you could still do that. I don't know that it's necessarily possible with the world the way it is anymore. It's not what it used to be. I was out on the road 2005 to 2009, essentially just kind of me and a guitar and floating around. And I read Jack Kerouac's On the Road at 18. And it was like I was like, well, you just do that? Well, I'm going to go do that and
Oh
see what
yeah.
happens. Right. And go live while I'm young. And people are going to give you that kind of benefit of the doubt. Right. Being, pretty much homeless and hitchhiking from town to town when you're 40 isn't as taken the same way. But now we do it a little differently. I mean, I got to ride down to Nashville in a tour bus that wasn't mine. Absolutely stunning. I got to work the red carpet at the Grand Ole Opry for my first time in Nashville. Hit Broadway on Halloween night. Like, I'm very grateful for the life that I have now. But it's also really hard to make money. Like, even with a award-winning podcast, I can get a lot of access, but I haven't necessarily found like how that makes money. Maybe I need a really good PR person. Maybe that's what I need. There you go. If you're picking up what I'm putting down here, honey.
Honestly, the way that I have found for podcasters to make money is through brand deals. That's the way that we have had experience with like our clients for IF publicity. So that's what I would recommend is look into brand deals, find companies that, would complement the brand that you've built and see how, you could connect with them. And I mean, it's all about community, right? So like find that community that wants to support you. And that's what all creatives are trying to do, is just find that community. That
totally
pays.
well, and when you can't find it, build it. And that's kind of what we've done with the Midwest Original Music Organization, because I know the struggles of a independent artist, right? And I don't know everything, but I'm also friends with a lot of really smart people. And I feel like getting them all into the same room, whether that's our Facebook group or, our online community that we have on our website and those things, like each one of these levels become more tight knit inside of them. And, our Facebook group alone is, I think it's over 800 members at this point. So
awesome.
We're building a pretty big community. And I think I need to, not that I don't respect it, but I definitely need to see it for the value that it is, because it's all brand new. I just started this podcast 18 months ago, right? And we really just went to YouTube a year ago. We just passed 300,000 views on our YouTube really since March, when we kind of figured stuff out.
This is amazing.
Yeah. Well, things are going very well, but I'm also like, I've been on the road for 2 weeks. I'm extremely tired. Those seeds of doubt are creeping in. And it's been really nice talking with you. And I had Allison Galloway on right before you as well, who has millions of views on her YouTube, because she shows up and she's just real. And it's kind of pushing me where it's like, you're on the right, just keep going. You can't stop now when,
There's no one timeline. No one has a identical timeline to anyone else. And what I've noticed through being a musician and being someone who works in the industry, it's really about, are you going to be more consistent than the person next to you? That's it.
Yeah, well, I came home from tour and went straight to work. Like, I got home in time to pick up my wife and kids from school, as I do when I'm home. I walk them to our little school and I walk them home every day. And those are the things that's important to me. That's why I'm not willing to go back to working in the factory, right? Like, I could go back and drive 30 miles, one way to go work in a factory for $25+ an hour. I can make it cool, $50,000 a year, but not have all this time that I have with my wife and my kids, and being close to home, and not having to spend money on fuel unless I'm going somewhere worthwhile. I think that was my thing, like just driving back and forth every day and putting a tank of fuel in and all these miles on the vehicle to just like drive to a job was brutal. It was
I refuse to do a 9 to 5. I'm not built for it. I'm built to stay home, make music, go on tour, and just be a creative person and look good. And that's it. That's what I'm here for.
Man, I really enjoyed being in a suit like all week, right? Like, even if it was suit jacket with a t-shirt, It felt really good to have, like, if I walk
Oh,
around my
true.
little farm town here in rural South Dakota in a suit jacket every day, people are going to be looking at me for a lot different reasons than they already do. I mean, I guess everybody's already looking. You might as well give them a reason, huh?
Yeah, period.
Um,
Oh my God. Yes. I love that so much. I live by that. Like, oh my God, you have no idea how much I live by that. I just released some content where I was downtown Nashville on Second Ave, and I was in like a lingerie set and I was recording like a music video. And again, I'm a big girl. People don't usually see naked big girls downtown Nashville. Okay. That's just not normal. And
I was there on Halloween. I saw too much.
that's true. That's really valid. Probably a lot of naked people, but it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on like a Monday, and it was so much fun because in the video you see people going, yeah, like like yes, girl. It's like that's the thing. If you're gonna look, at least you should look at something good. So that's what I'm serving on a platter.
I love it. I love it. So I know you got some new music that you're working on. What is the music? I mean, you have so many influences. Is each song kind of like out of left field? Is it, or is there some cohesiveness to the sound that you're putting out there?
There is definitely cohesiveness. I've definitely had different like moments in my artist career so far, and I'm growing. I still feel like I'm in the beginning stages of what I'm building, and I'm really honing in on a couple different sounds that I want to continue to have in this career that I'm building. Gosh, how many times can I say the word building? So I like to say, like, my elevator pitch is if Ella Fitzgerald had a baby with Amy Winehouse and Adele was the surrogate, was kind of the vibe. Um, so a lot of bold vocals. I really like brass band, like big band. So I am doing what I can on an indie budget with that in mind. So I love having strings and I love brass. Like, give me a good flugelhorn, give me a good French horn, and I'm so happy. Trumpets. Oh, I love trumpets. I'm such a jazz girl. Everything is going to be like seductive and sensual, but I also love like the stylings of SZA and that R&B influences. I have songs with like trap beats under it, and I love that. I think it's so cool and modern, and the way like that I can meld those things together and it sounds really cool is really exciting for me. So I try to keep it in that space, but I also like having ballads, so Wait With Me is very much a ballad. But yeah, I definitely lean into the R&B pop, like bedroom pop, dark pop realm for sure.
Bedroom pop. I like it.
Yeah, add it to your playlist.
Well, and speaking of kind of a more sensual music and seductive type music, what is it like performing at a burlesque show, every weekend in Nashville?
It is the highlight of my entire life. It is everything I have always dreamed of when I wouldn't say little, but when I was younger, like watching Burlesque, the movie Burlesque with Christina Aguilera and Cher. Like, one of my favorite parts is always the background, like the green room where all the girls are running around and there's rhinestones flying everywhere and there's bras flying everywhere and there's like feathers. Like, where did that feather come from? And I get that every week now with these women, these people that I consider like family now. I've been doing this for like a year and a half, and it is I look forward to it every week. I'm so excited when I go, and I love performing. I mean, I could perform every day. I have a show next week that I'm actually very nervous and very excited for, but it is the highlight of my week. I'm very in love with just the burlesque world in general. I've been in love with burlesque since I was younger. My first burlesque show was Dita Von Teese, and she's the queen of burlesque, and I got to meet her, and very, very lucky for that. So yeah, it's really a dream. It is a dream of mine that I'm currently living, and it's very cool. It's very cool. I'm very, very grateful for it. So yeah.
Yeah, messed around and became Liza Minnelli.
No, period. I love her so much. That's so funny.
Oh, I've seen some movies too, Athena. Seen a couple,
What?
mostly old ones.
I love old movies.
Oh,
Don't get it
it's
twisted.
Well, it's fantastic. It's nice to talk to you because you have so many different perspectives that intrigue me. Like I said, growing up, I mean, I grew up in rural South Dakota, a different part
Yeah.
of South Dakota, 5 hours away, but the same kind of rural, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot different. People look at the music industry a lot differently here than
Mhm.
they do in Nashville, right? Where
Yeah. I can
um
imagine.
everyone in Nashville works in the music industry in
Yeah.
one way or another. You can't get away from it,
Right.
right? And here, most people are like, well, when are you going to get a real job? Right. So it's kind of like trying to bridge those two worlds together and realizing that, also feeling that like I work in the music industry, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm not just a part time
Yeah.
player and I go out and kind of weekend warrior this thing, but this podcast and these things that I've dedicated a vast majority of my life to at this point, they have value in the world, even when the system and the industry is literally cannibalizing itself to the point where it has no value. I mean, out in the open market, songs don't really have any value any
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop any of us from writing them. And it doesn't stop us from wanting to perform them. Like, what is that? Are we all crazy?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, of course. You're on the nose. We're creatives, I wouldn't be able to live this life without being able to create. I know that sounds so cheesy, but genuinely like the this is a joke, but like I always say like the only interesting thing about me is my music and my hair. Um, I just love what I do and I could not do anything else. I really couldn't. I've tried to like have like corporate jobs just to obviously support what I was doing, but it just never I never felt fulfilled until like now this past year. It's been crazy. I'm very grateful. But yeah, I mean creatives, we can't. We are meant to um entertain, connect with people. We need that as the human experience goes, right? Like if human race didn't have music, I mean, I don't know what we would do. Music goes back to the Stone Age. Like we have always been creating music, always. It's always been there.
Well, and it's a universal language. I mean, the year I
Yeah.
spent in Mexico, I was feeding my family with the guitar going down to the square in a town where not a lot of people spoke English, and
Yeah.
I'm doing nothing but singing in English,
Yeah.
right? And being different, and I'm making more than I could if I was like working a construction job, right? Which granted wasn't very, it was like $10 a day, right?
Mm.
But also life is cheap in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like to just live and survive was very cheap. I mean,
That's
if I was making, the 50 grand a year that I was making here,
a king.
that I would live like a freaking king down there,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And don't think that I regretted, waiting to go to Mexico until I got busted, right? Like I went because I was on the run from the felonies that I had caught, and then
Bubba.
I landed there, and I was like, oh my god, why didn't you come here 3 months ago with all that money? My life would have been very much different than it
Who
is
are
now.
you, Bubba Starks?
Um, who am I? I ask that question all the time, Athena, all the time.
I
It's
love that.
really it was a big impetus for why I started my own podcast because I was gone. I started releasing more singles like October of 2023. I released my first one officially on a streaming. I had made an album back in 2009, 2010. Um, really just like a demo, wasn't done very well. I was never really proud of it, unfortunately. And we just spent a ton of money to get it to that point, right? But we just didn't know what we were doing and made a lot of mistakes with it. So uh it really came down to like me being inspired by Jelly Roll and Lainey, that people who had been working at this for a very long time, right? Not
Mhm.
overnight successes, people who had been in the grind forever and ever and ever, and then had a breakthrough moment, right?
Yeah.
And hearing Jelly Roll tell his stories about being in jail, where it's like, oh, I can share that. Like I don't have to hide that, because
No,
I think most people that you meet are like, oh, you can't talk about that. You can't, like, stop telling people that you went to
but
prison and doing that.
that's what makes us interesting, and that's what makes us able to connect with people, right? Like, I always talk about plus size inclusivity and body normalizing. Like, it shouldn't be like one over the other. It should just be we are who we are, and like that we should be proud of who we are. And I think that's something that people in the plus size community, because I have been that person. Like I'm not talking from no experience. Like I always thought I needed to lose weight. I never thought that I could be vivacious and voluptuous at the same time. Like, I always thought I had to be the funny fat friend, not the educated, talented, sexy, femme fatale. Like, I never saw that growing up. And now I'm like, and excuse me, I don't know if I can curse here.
You can do whatever you want.
I said, fuck that, because I'm not going to hide who I am because of someone else's idea of what I should and should not share with the world. So, um, I think that's what separates us, is our ability to truly like show who we are, like naked, right? That's the beauty of artists, is we're able to really like, I don't know, do that when it's the scariest thing to do, and we do it. And I think that's what helps people feel like they're allowed to do that as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think yeah, I've continued to prove that here on the show. I mean, I've done, I don't even know how many interviews I've done this year alone. It's been
Yeah.
a lot. We got to
Great.
100 episodes last year. That was like my goal. I was like, I got to get to 100 episodes. And that meant we did over 120 interviews with different
Yeah.
artists and different people. And then this year, we've blown that out of the, I mean, I did 100 interviews probably on the red carpet at the Josie's. Right. I
Yeah,
just talked to
probably.
everyone that would come through. And then even at towards the end, when they were like, hey, it's like showtime, right? You
Mhm.
might want to get inside. And it's still like, hey, this is your moment. Like, if you
Yeah.
want to come up here, like, I'm sorry I didn't get to everyone. It's not my fault. Like,
Yeah.
I was doing 60-second or less interviews the entire
Great.
time and just getting them done, because it's not about me. It's not about my content for the day. It's about you getting your time in the sun. And I
Yeah.
think that's exactly why we will be invited back next year. I think it's why I have a passion for doing more red carpet events in the future, and being at more award shows all over the country, and finding a couple of brands that would be interested in that kind of exposure to those, to those events, and these, because I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting new artists. If even for the simple fact of just like having another friend in the world, right? I think that sometimes I'm still a very lonely teenager at heart, right? I'm still someone who is out on that highway with his thumb in the air, wondering if anybody gives a shit, right?
No.
And
Yeah.
um not that I didn't have, family that loved me, but my upbringing wasn't great either. And everybody had their own stuff going on. And I
Right.
was always, the oldest of three boys. It was always like, well, Bubba's going to go to college and do all the things right. And like, I got out there with almost no training and went, I just made a lot of really bad choices. Right. And
Experience.
and now I'm trying to maybe keep other young people from making those same really poor choices. And we live in a much different world now. I feel like society in a lot of ways has come a long ways. I feel like we're still probably ass backwards in a lot of other ways, but we can be culture drivers and culture changers who we are. And I
Yeah.
think that you exemplify that with
Thank
who you are, and the way that you choose to live your life. It means so much, because you're going to inspire other girls that maybe don't look at the TV or their freaking computer screen in their hand, and see themselves and see any way that they're beautiful. And not that it's a cop out to just like be fat as fuck and not take care of yourself, right? But we're all shaped differently, right? And there's different ways to look healthy, to look and be healthy, right?
Right.
And in a world that has just shoved nothing but terrible food down our throats for 50 years, and then to expect everyone to live up to some now AI generated image of perfection is just, it's so damaging, right?
It's so damaging, and it's just the conversation should be about health, not about how you look. That people don't talk about, PCOS, which is something that affects a large group of not only women or women. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. PCOS, because I'm thinking about HS. I have an autoimmune disease called hidradenitis suppurativa, and it affects everybody. And it's not something that they really talked about up until recently. Not fun. 10 out of 10 do not recommend having HS. But I don't have PCOS, but I know a lot of women that do, and they're very healthy, but they're bigger people because of their genetics, because of, all the terrible food that is affordable, because healthy food is not affordable. I could go into this so hard, but at the end of the day, I don't care who you are or what you look like. I don't think anyone has a right to talk about how anybody looks, regardless how healthy or unhealthy they are. I think it's, up to the person living in their body. And I think that we shouldn't be excluded from anything because of how we look. Seeing plus size models on the Victoria's Secret fashion show this year is amazing. Ashley Graham is a leader in the plus size community. She was the first plus size woman to be on Sports Illustrated. And she's a mother with a wonderful husband who is she's so successful and so ambitious. And, you know, seeing women like that inspire me. And I hope one day that I could be a woman that is inspiring other women to be able to go after their dreams and know that it's totally possible, regardless of your size. So.
Well, I think you're already doing that, and you just keep on going, and you're going to inspire more and more people with your story and with your dare I say, balls to just go out there and to live it and to not really give a shit what anybody else thinks. And
Yeah.
I think it's important. I think in this 30 minutes we've been talking, that I come from the same cut from the same cloth, Athena. And it's a no surprise that we connected the way that we did on the red carpet, and why I was so attracted to your spirit. And you looked freaking amazing at the Josies. So kudos to you for coming well dressed.
I appreciate that very much. I appreciate this interview, and also just meeting you and being a part of this community with you. It's wonderful. I'm very grateful, and yeah, this was awesome. I appreciate it.
Before I let you go ahead and plug everything. Let people know where they can find all the music, and I'll let you get out of here.
Okay. Well, everyone, you can find me anywhere online, Athena Official with an X instead of an E, Athxna Official, on every platform. And I hope you love the music and the new music that's coming out this year and next year.
Awesome. Well, Athena, thank you so much for being my new friend, and thanks for being part of the scene.
Of course. Thank you.